August 24th, and right now we're just taking out some of the posts, preparation for cleaning the barns. That's very deep, man. And it is humid as all get out in here. I tell you what.
I won't go very far with it.
Right. This rain feels like it is a never-ending damn thing. And so the controls on these are a little bit newer to us, so we're still trying to figure out, you know, the up, down, side, side, doo-doo. Whew. Like I said, it's still just, it's so humid out here. We came out thinking, hey, wind was blowing yesterday, had a day to dry, and it is still muddier than all get out. Okay, so we're still taking down. That in itself is a job, because when you got goats, you got to barricade everything 20 times over so nobody slips through. Okay, so we got everything cleared out of the barn and got the new skid steer going. And let me say, it is deep in here. Holy crap, it does. Yeah.
You're constantly having to make it bite.
Yeah.
That thing, you bite into a bale, it sinks. It'll smash.
Yes.
It'll go all the way to the bottom.
I noticed that it really bites. Yeah, she's not down yet.
No, it's deep. Sometimes it's, you know, when JR did this a few years back, we let it dry, and then he kept working in here.
Yeah.
He got a lot more stuff. Once it got dry.
Yeah. And it's actually dry to this landing here a little bit. So she backs out to here and then goes forward because it's dry right here.
I don't think he feels comfortable.
Yeah, I know that's kind of a tight corner to do that.
But you know, it feels way different inside.
It does. It does. You feel much wider. Yeah. Yeah.
It just takes time.
It does, and starting to get room to move around in here too. Yeah. There, it's clay. Yeah, it's finally clay right there. And then we put it on a pile. So we do have kids out here. The weanlings are out here. They're out grazing, and they do have different water. But if they come up here wanting to be involved with this whole situation, then we're going to have to lock them in the yard. So we're still figuring out with the little skid steer is to have to really tip the bucket down and basically lift the front end off the ground to get a dig in. This we do not. It is powerful enough where you just keep the bucket level. So again, figuring things like that out. And you can't really see. That's the bad part. Finally made enough room in there where she can turn around and come out. Yeah, so this is the hard part, is first getting a landing made in here where you can be, and then you clean out from there. And I'm glad she's doing it because she's much better. And if I could tell you what the stink is like, the nice part about that tractor is it's got AC and an enclosed cab, so she's not going to come out of this whole thing smelling really, really bad. But it's deep. It's really deep. I'd say probably a good 6 inches deep in here. My thing is it's so quiet too. Used to the tractor being in here when we clean this barn, and it's just roars. She's got the power. And that grapple really takes a bite. Now it's just remembering which way you push it to make it dig. Yeah. Oh man, she's got this down. And it does have a little bit of a, it's like almost a gas pedal at the bottom. So if you need a little bit of oomph to like get up there, then you got that. So she'll probably leave that little ramping up by there so she doesn't have to jump over the threshold. Yeah, good times. Dang, it is not gonna take long to clean this out, is my feeling, boys and girls. We'll get the main part of it cleaned out with the big skid steer, and then we'll bring, oh, Ron's already up here, coming up with the little skid steer. That one is not as powerful. And it's a little bucky. So that one is what we use to clean like the little corners and everything, because you've got a little more control with that one being less powerful. And so you can clean up closer to the barns. Hey, chicken. To the sides. Yeah. Excellent. So I think we finally got the rhythm down of how this one works. Dig in, flip it up, because of all the layers. As you can see, the layers going on. And then up, grapple down, and then turn around, out she goes. Whew. Those are big loads. Anybody who's cleaned up a barn with a skid steer knows she's creating a nice little platform for herself to turn around in. Meanwhile, Ron's got the small skid steer here, and he's gonna clean along the edges for her and put that stuff in the middle. It's small, but it's mighty. Yeah. We've been keeping the spring hitters in this area, so it's a lot deeper over here.
I don't like dropping it right there, but I don't want to take it all the way out.
Yeah. Well, well, what she'll have to do is she'll probably have to start grabbing that first. Yeah. And again, I don't like running machinery. I will if I could. I can unhook and hook up the bucket. Learned that this morning. But these guys are a little bit better at it than I am. See, she thinks that she's not getting a big load, but she is. Are you okay with Ron doing this? Okay. That's a big load. And I love how they swing around. Ooh, it's getting a little buttery there. But she's got a nice little platform that once she gets up there, so it's not bouncing a lot. She's okay with you doing that. geez, I'm afraid I go in, I'm gonna come back out and they'll have the whole dang thing cleaned. Dang, that is nice. That is super nice. But it's nice to have the little skid steer still too, is because then you can clean up around here and not risk pushing the barn. So as you can see, as we're getting down more, you can tell the difference between what is the floor of the barn and what is manure and everything. So what we put down when we built this barn is clay-based flooring. We did not put down cement, cost being one of the factors, and the other factor being then the manure can sink down into this and drain away, and so you're not cleaning barns as much and it's not getting that ammonia smell. It still gets ammonia smell when it gets like this, but it's just easier. The only thing is you really got to watch when you're cleaning that you're not picking up your floor of your barn. And so we were talking about that with her earlier because of how much this thing does dig in. But I think she's got the rhythm down now of flipping it like that. And then the nice thing about the grapple is then you can claw onto it and it picks up a good chunk. That's doing an amazing job without, again, the huge sound of it. The skid steer, when you don't need the extra power, kind of powers it back. So you're not like, wah, you know, running full bore as you're doing all of this. So once this dries out, what we're hoping is we do have a pile of that clay stuff that we put down here, and we're hoping to bring some more of that in and level out some of the spots, because this over here, when we built the barn, the people that did the pad, it was wavy and everything, and then we cleaned and maybe got a little too excessive on this side. So when it rains, the water will come in. So what we're planning on doing is building it up just a tad over here, and then we come out here, clean these yards off so it drains away from the barn, because it hasn't been, and then we build this up a little bit over here so the water doesn't drain, because obviously there's no gutter system with this, and that's fine, but we just need to build up a little bit over here. So, but 90% of the problem is that this is creating a dam, and with all the rain that we're getting, it has nowhere to go but sit here and kind of drain over here. So we're going to have to do a little bit of dirt work over here. Most of it is just cleaning it. And again, as you can see, we've still got puddles sitting around, and we've got chances of rain. If it would just quit raining for 2 weeks for us, it would be so helpful. But then again, then your pasture dies and starts drying up. So I can't win for losing sometimes, guys. You got to be careful what you wish for. There are many regions, especially Texas, that wishes that they could get some of this rain that we're getting. So shout out to anybody in Texas that is grappling with the severe drought out there, and our hearts go out to you, because we hear that you guys are melting down there. So what Ron will do is clean a lot of this, and then when he has enough room to come up the side, then he'll switch angles and go up that side. As you can see, that one's a bit more bouncy. Remember the last time we cleaned the barns, my nephew was really good on the skid steer as well. Was the skid steering, and about an hour into it, he jumps off just white as a ghost and says, "I need to go home." The bouncing got to be a little much for him, so. Chickens. And they're loving this, of course, because when we dig this up, there's grain that fell underneath and everything. And when we used to bed the barns down with the oat hay, and so it's nicely fermented, and oh, the chickens are just having the time of their lives. Just really liking that stuff. I think I'm going to get my pitchfork and kind of get this situated a little bit. My job will be running pitchfork. Okay. Getting down to the end, of course. Everybody had to take a little break. I've been taking the pitchfork along the sides and pitching it. It's a lot of work. It's gonna hurt. And then I sat in the cab of that for some AC. Trying to get out of the stick for a little while. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to let this sit overnight and the wind blow through it, get it dried out, and then come back over it with a little skid steer and scrape up the little stuff. That over there is just so wet. We had to bring the big tractor up because we got the little bobcat stuck over there, and had to pull it out. Good times. Very good times. Looks like I need to go over and pitchfork behind the door. Okay, gonna go do that. Alright, so we got the barn cleaned. We got all the doors open, letting it air out. And tomorrow we'll probably do a little scraping on it, and then we'll do some dirt work over here. As you can see, it's pretty wet compared to the rest of it, and we'll build up the dirt over here. So yeah, I think we're done for this evening. So thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate it. I do believe it's August 25th, and cleaned out the barn yesterday. It's drying nicely. So what we're doing today is hauling in more dirt. We always had issues with water coming in on that side and then creating a puddle right here because it's so low. So we're fixing that today. So nice to have the two skid steers working to do that. So what this is what we call gumbo. See how it forms a ball when you do that? So there's a lot of clay in this. Creates a heck of a floor for the barn, yet still will let water drain through if you don't have it continually coming in from outside the barn. So this used to be actually a pretty big mound of dirt. And Okay.
And roll these in here, then we can just move them.
Yeah.
One sound where she wants. Good one.
That's a pretty substantial rock. Agreed.
So we won't be able to move it.
Yeah, that pile was very substantial. We had this leveled out. You know what? That is going to make life a whole lot easier. Getting up this hill with a trailer and everything. As then we have a wider path. And that's what we had wanted, was a wider path so we could get up here, turn around kind of thing, and have more of a landing up here. Okay, so we got the dirt work done. You guys did a really good job. And it is actually level now. We had some troubles with water seeping in here and pooling in here. I don't think we're gonna have that this year. Thank goodness. Looks great. Okay, so we got the barn cleaned, got it set back up specifically for kidding. This right here will be probably a grouping pen. I think that's what we did last year. So we got a gate that comes in, because this is usually where we have our feed. And then, different thing that we did is have a gate right here. Because right through here are where we're going to set up our kidding jugs. Right now, the kids, this is where they're going to have their grain each day. So we'll go back through. So to get out into where the girls are going to be when they drop their kids, we have a gate here. We have another gate here, because you can never have too many gates. That's usually the gate that we take through our bedding and things like that. So we've got the gate there. This is where they'll come in the evening. And then we'll walk over to this gate here. So for right now, this is where the kids are, or this is their side of the barn. And this is the gate that they can come through. So when we have a girl that is kidding, we now have pens set up back here, drop pens, so she can go back here, or we can use these as grouping pens. We've got gates here that'll lead into where the kidding jugs are. But right now, the kids, this is where they'll go through to get their grain. This is the brand new gate that Ron built for us, and we're gonna try it out this year. It's hung there and has a nice little latch there. So we're gonna try it out and see how they do. There's always the concern that they beat up on this, you know, when they're trying to fight somebody, and then they pop this latch open. So again, this is just kind of a prototype that we wanted to try, that Ron built for us. So we've got that. And yes, and if you're wondering what the white stuff is on the ground, this is barn lime. So what it does is it makes it, dries it up real quickly, and it is hard as brick. So not expecting rain tonight, so we're not gonna let these guys in, because if you let them in, guess where they're gonna stay? They're gonna stay in here, they're gonna poop everywhere. So we're gonna try and keep this as clean as possible. So I think that's it for tonight, just a couple of chores to do. And that's it. Right now, JR is out cleaning the yards, which we truly appreciate. So we may go out there and see how he's doing. Okay, so right now, my nephew JR is out there with our new skid steer, and he's piling it up because he found that it's so wet out there that when he goes with the grapple and picks them up to take it out to the manure pile, yeah, he was just spinning because the loads are either too big, it's too heavy, and it's so wet out there. So what he's doing right now is he's just using the straight bucket to make a nice big pile so all of that can dry up. So then later on he brings the grapple out, or someone brings the grapple out. Yeah. and pick it up and get it out of there. Yeah, it's been a wet year. I know I've mentioned that before, but it's been a wet year. So that's good. This feels really good to get this done. And then probably in a couple of weeks, then we will be moving the weanlings down to that other barn, and then these girls will probably go over to this side of the barn, and then we'll set up all the kidding jugs. So thank you so much. This is a lot of work, but thank you guys for watching, and please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. Please subscribe if you would like for us to keep making content, and we sure appreciate you watching.